backup camera. Garage door, nice. What's going on, everybody? We are back with another video here on the Enebo Racing channel. Today we're going to be finishing up our speaker install on Roxy. We got her uncovered out there, and we're going to throw in the door speakers, and hopefully the tweeters will come alive as well. We're going to get to it here. The stereo's installed, everything's looking good. It's not mounted in place quite yet just because I want to finish up wiring up all of the electronics, so including the backup camera and a couple other little things that I have planned for it. But we got a trip to Costa Rica coming up, so I'm going to try and knock out as much as I can this week. So just got to get started here and see how far we can go. If you remember from last video, I needed to get some shallow mount speakers, so I picked up these Infinities here, and I'm hoping they'll do the trick. All right, so these are them, little Infinities. They are pretty shallow, not gonna lie. Let's go set these into the door and make sure that they fit. All right, yep, they fit in there without hitting. And I think there's even some holes kind of already set up here, so I'll figure out exactly how I want to mount this up and we'll knock it out here real quick. They do not make contact with the regulator back there, so that's a good sign. We'll go ahead and get these mounted up in place. All right, so we got this speaker hard mounted into place and it's working. One thing I did find is the wires that came up for the tweeter. The tweeter still wasn't working, so I was wondering why. Well, found that the wires were completely cut. And I think this is a little capacitor or something in here. So I'm gonna have to run a custom wire all the way back to behind the stereo and then just wire it into this left front door speaker. But that shouldn't be too hard, just gotta run a new wire. So we'll come back another day here. I gotta pull the door panel off of the passenger side and we'll get all of that stuff buttoned up. All right, we are back here working on the sound system on Roxy here. I am going to fish the power cable for the subwoofer up through the firewall. And so I fed a wire coat hanger down through the grommet. I'm gonna wrap up the power cable and anything else that needs to go up in the engine bay and just pull it on through. Got my little coat hanger. I'm just gonna pull this on up. In theory, it should pull right up through there. Heck yeah. Winner. All right, so we're making some progress. Basically, I got all the wires fed behind the pedals up through the dash, and we're starting to really connect some stuff. So here's the remote wire for the 12-volt command power to the amplifier. We got the subwoofer RCA's plugged in. We got the backup camera plugged in. Right now, we are working on the reverse light. So I got this back panel pulled and the reverse light bulb, and so all we got to do is figure out which one of these has power when put into reverse, and then we will cut it and splice in the trigger wire for the backup camera, which is this red one right here. So looking good. We're gonna go ahead and get this going here and we'll show you how it's done. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn the key on and then put the car into reverse and see if this bulb lights up, and if it does, we'll test for which wire is getting power here. I'm gonna get our voltmeter out here, come in through the back here, see if I can get a good connection. All right, so we came to the conclusion that the wire on the right here gives the signal to the light bulb when it's put into reverse. So we're gonna wire in this red trigger wire into this wire here, and we should be in business. we got the backup camera mounted. We drilled a hole through the back of the car here and then put a little conduit to protect it. And we got the wires all wired into the power trigger on the reverse light. And then we've got the wire ran behind this that it pops out over here. This guy here plugs into the harness that I've ran up to the dash. And so I just got to run the power and the ground. I think I'm just going to connect it to the subwoofer's power and ground because it's the same thing. Let's see. I got to connect the red cable that's up there for the backup camera to the reverse signal in the stereo. Let's see. I got to connect the power wire for the subwoofer up at the battery. I got to put a fuse in. That's easy. And then I got to wire in these two. And then I think there's a signal wire up at the stereo up there that I need to wire into the head unit. Yeah, looking good. All right, let me show you guys what we got going on. Backup camera, totally legit. Kick it out, nothing crazy. So we got backup camera working. We've got the subwoofer all wired in, including the little bass knob that I got going on here, so that's cool. Got the subwoofer. The battery was dying, so got my little battery tender hooked up to it. But we got the subwoofer wire all with the big fuse right here. It's hooked up to the battery. Easy peasy. I do have to wire in the tweeter speaker into the speaker wiring behind the stereo, and then I'll have to do the same for that tweeter up there. But otherwise, I'm going to work on getting this door panel off. We'll probably go ahead and, yeah, just try and wrap up the speaker install, because otherwise I can get to tuning this stereo. Alrighty, so we've got the door speaker installed here, and we've got the tweeter installed. Had to come in here and splice the tweeter in with these door speakers. I think we're ready to mount this thing up. We got all the speakers working, the subwoofer's working. Oh, I do have the Bluetooth mic. Okay, so I got to wire the Bluetooth mic in behind the dash. And then I think we are in business. We can start hard mounting this stereo into place, and then, yeah, get this trim cover on and get to tuning this beast. So I've got the faceplate mocked up here. Haven't set the Velcro yet, but man, it is looking good. Kind of got this thing mounted into place for where it's supposed to be, and yep, it looks great. Kick the old deck on here. Sick. We got power to the sub. Everything's hooked up here. I'm going to make a separate video of me tuning the system, but for now, got my little bass knob here. I think this is going to be a good spot for it. Kind of out of the way. Boom. Easy peasy. Get some bass. Yeah, everything's working good. Kick this thing into reverse. Boom, backup cam, super cool. Oh yeah, everything came together. I'm waiting on some door panel clips so I can throw the door panel back on, but got the tweeter installed, all wired in, everything's working good. And got this door panel back on. Sweet, yeah. I mounted the microphone up on the little sun visor here. Got it fed down here. It's got enough slack to be able to open. So the stereo is equipped with a feature that requires you to put the parking brake on before being able to access any video settings or setup of any kind. And there's a wire back there that has to be hooked up to this circuit. Well, in order to bypass that, there's this little, I don't know, little bypass kit that I have to wire in that will trick the stereo into thinking that the parking brake's engaged. So before I fully mount all this into place, I got to wait for that thing to come in probably this week. But otherwise, it is all finished. Everything's wired in. Everything is working. The backup camera. How sick. Nice clear picture. Color even. Let me show you what it looks like here. Super clean, mounted up out of the way. Heck yeah. Super cool. All right, so we're putting final touches on this. We got the kick panels back installed. And, you know, I'm starting to assemble the center console here. And I was figuring out a way to run my Apple CarPlay cable through the, you know, trim pieces here. I found this little grommet thing that came in one of the stereo components, little install kit, and it's like this little pass-through grommet, if you will, little bushing thing. Well, anyway, you just drill a hole, and it'll lock into place, and it'll be a nice little trim ring, and I figure I can put it right in between the two charging ports here on my center console. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this off, drill it out, pop this little thing in, and then the Apple Lightning cable will be able to go in the middle of it. Nice little plastic punch here. Perfect.
What are you doing?
I'm like almost finished with installing the stereo on Monica's car.
Oh, wow.
So I'm just drilling out this piece.
Nice.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
Blew up in the burnout. This thing's touching, but we got in the pits and they started them up and just nuked us. I was just crying. I couldn't see shit. I was like stumbling around. It's way nuts.
All right, so got it drilled out. Got the little grommet installed. That's super fresh. So we'll feed the lightning cable up through there, and we will have Apple CarPlay through the dash, and it'll be plenty long, so super stoked about that. All right, so got the console together for the most part here, and this turned out really well. You can just pull it out here. I just got a clear zip tie to stop the cord from going back down into the hole. But yeah, you can just stuff it in here. I don't have a reel or anything, so it's not super fancy, but otherwise, if you're not using it, you can just have it sitting here. Otherwise, you got the whole dang cable. And yeah, Apple CarPlay. Easy peasy. Yeah, just waiting on some body clips to throw the door panel back on, but I'll show you guys kind of how it looks. Okay, get my automatically connects to Bluetooth pretty quick. Plug your phone in, and it'll give you the Apple CarPlay playlist. It's got all your stuff here. Boom.
The bombs begin to fall, and I want you to meet my love. Please remember me. There is no more.
All right, yeah, that hits. Got the bass knob chilling right here at the moment. I'm gonna make a whole video on how I set all this up, but right now I got it set at about, I don't know, 7 out of 10. I still have to freaking heat shrink all of the little connectors back there. I just gotta use my heat gun and insulate those wires, and then we'll finalize all that. And then I gotta get the rear seats put back in. That shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, everything's looking good. Just gotta get the dang garage cleaned up. This is a heck of a project. A lot of wiring supplies and whatnot. Got the battery on the tender here. But yeah, That about wraps it all up. That's gonna do it. We got Roxy's sound system all wrapped up. We got a couple final touches to do, some troubleshooting. I got a couple issues that I do want to fix, so I'll make that another video. Make sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Appreciate you guys watching, and as always, stay ripping.